I'm sure you know who Earl Grant is. Earl Grant was a former Nation of Islam member who went by the name Earl 5X Grant. When Malcolm was kicked out of the Nation of Islam, Earl left the Nation of Islam before Malcolm was kicked out. And when Malcolm was kicked out, Earl contacted Minister Malcolm, and they were always close friends. They were always had a good relationship when both of them were in the Nation of Islam. So Earl wound up uniting with Brother Malcolm and joined the Organization of Afro-American Unity and Muslim Mosque Incorporated. I was fortunate to meet Brother Earl, and I knew Earl over 3 decades up until his passing. Earl and I became very close, and every opportunity I got, I recorded and filmed Brother Earl. I videotaped him, I interviewed him, we spoke on the phone 1,000,000 times, we met 1,000,000 times, we went to affairs together, we went to places together. I'm grateful that I got to meet Brother Earl and many of the organization members. Brother Kenyatta, Herman Ferguson, Sister Khadija, Sister Jean Reynolds. And the stories they told me off camera were just as mind-blowing as the stuff they said on camera. And in this year of 2025 and onward, I'm going to start mentioning and revealing some of the exclusive private things that they told me that the public hasn't even heard yet. I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to start sharing with the public mind-blowing information that I was privy to hear, I was privy to experience by listening to Malcolm's followers, Dr. John Henry Clark, Robert L. Higgins, Sidney Seeley, Gladstone Alexander, and many others. They told me some fantastic things the public hasn't even heard yet that I'm ready to share with the public now. So I'm going to start putting together all the information I can possibly share with you. I'm going to put it together and put it in my films over the years to come. And for all you young historians, all you young filmmakers, I suggest that you go buy the best equipment that you can afford. Get the best cameras, the best audio devices, and start filming our ancestors. Start filming these people. They have important stories to tell. These stories must be documented. Don't skimp on equipment. Don't get cheap equipment. Get good, clear cameras that capture clear visuals. Get audio recorders that capture clear audio. This is all important. Don't leave it up to the next person. It's your responsibility to get the best equipment you can get and film them. Get their consent and permission to be filmed for historic purposes. It's your responsibility to record history. Don't let anyone else take that responsibility. It's your responsibility. So get on the case. Please. Don't blow the opportunity. Don't skimp on cheap equipment. Start saving for the best equipment money can buy. Or get the best affordable equipment. But make sure it's top-notch equipment. And go get the stories. I'm certain you heard the story about when Malcolm and Earl Grant were walking down the street and they ran into Godfather of Harlem. They ran into the Godfather of Harlem, Bumpy Johnson. And Bumpy Johnson offered Malcolm his services, which Malcolm turned down. It's a hell of a story. I'm going to play that for you. We need to hear that story again. When Bumpy Johnson, Godfather of Harlem, offered Malcolm help from the people that was harassing him, Bumpy was going to tighten up and take out all the people that was giving Malcolm hell. And I'm talking about all of them, no exceptions. Bumpy was going to take them all out. That's how much respect Bumpy had for Brother Malcolm. He was going to take them all out. They would have been running for cover. I never get tired of that story that Brother Earl Grant told us about The time Bumpy and Malcolm met on the street. The time when Bumpy Johnson, the Godfather of Harlem, offered Malcolm his services. It's one hell of a story. Let's play that story one more time.
When we left, we went up to 135th Street, and we'd cross the street, and used to be a shoe shine stand there. And Bumpy Johnson was sitting up in there getting his shoe shine. And we come across, he looked out, he jumped down, run out and grabbed Malcolm's hand. He said, "Hey, brother," he said, "we've been reading about you here, you got some problems." He said, "Yeah, I kind of have some." He said, so Bumpy told him, he said, well, you know how to handle that, man. All you got to do is make a phone call, and that'll be taken care of. That's what he told him. Me and Malcolm were standing there. I think Benjamin may have been there, I'm not sure. Then they talked for a while about the old times. And we walked down 135th toward Lenox Avenue. I told Malcolm, I says, "You know what he meant, don't you?" He said, "Yeah, I know what he meant." He said, "I don't want black folks killing black people." That was his attitude. And a lot of those people down there need to be told that the only reason some of them are still walking around is because Malcolm allowed them to keep walking around. Because there was another group of his old buddies from his running days out in the streets that came up to see him, came up to the Teresa Hotel, as a matter of fact. And I saw some of them about 2 weeks ago. I was with them. And I keep in touch with them. And they came up and offered their services just for old time's sake, because they take care of it, you know. And Malcolm, he would never let that go on. And he always told us we could defend ourselves but never attack them, because he didn't want us to, because he felt responsible for all those brothers being down there. It was listening to him that brought him in there, so he didn't, even though they were ignorant. And you can see where it's at. This guy that's in prison now, 14, 15 years later, he's beginning to understand, and he was manipulated. Well, even back in those days, we knew somebody was running a game on them.
If Malcolm would have allowed Bumpy to do his thing, it would have been more than just a mosque catching on fire. Bodies would have been turning up left and right. All those people who were giving Malcolm a rough time would have been laying low. And I mean laying low. Bumpy loved Malcolm so much, he was going to eliminate everybody in the Nation of Islam who was giving Malcolm a rough time, regardless of who they were, what their rank was. Bumpy meant business. The whole narrative may have looked like this.